Hello. So, I'm doing another cover, this time of a fan-made song. Go check out the original. I love it. I sing it on the bus. Yes, I'm a child. I do that. It's really awkward for my sibling to listen to me. And she's just like, be quiet, no one wants to hear you. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty reasonable. Now I'm gonna stop yammering and move. One does. If I figure out how to put a link to the song, I'll put it in the description. Otherwise, it won't be there. The name of the song and the person who made it will be in the title, of course. And this is obviously a cover if you couldn't have told. I'm gonna get onto it before this video is like 8 minutes long. Violence just call me, I've answered before. Obey many enemies, I settle my scores. But I grew weary and I settled down. Proudly bore the weight of my crown. And lived on my lonesome away in the far. Where was no violence to trouble my heart. I hung up my sword and I raised up my hope. I lied as I said that I never would go. Oh, they will cry for man that I know, no one to whom of compassion I'd shown. So I opened up my door to a man who promised me blood and war. Woe to thee, people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder and that you'll never rise again and leave me be and leave my friends. They follow him far to a distant land where he'd been exiled by one single man. His horns were wicked, his power was great. They looked in his eyes and were swallowed by hate. Neither going to shelter his humble abode. A pitiful cavern his comrades called home. He handed me bedding and bid me adieu. He sat and pondered on what I should do. For I craved violence, I craved to be free. I want the people who wish to control me as I believe anarchy's reign. Know that dictators only bring pain. Oh, woe to thee, people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder and that you'll never rise again. Leave me be and leave my friends. They fought for battle and hoarded and schemed, but I did not know all was well what it seemed. Your allies unstable to their loyalty thin. Yes, we would have a victory, but what would we win? The battle was chaos, blood roared in my ears. A chain of explosions, they looked up with fear. They set up a leader and shouted hoorays. And shuddered and realized that I've been betrayed. Is this what you want? Corruption and power. I won't stand for this. This is my hour. Take on these beasts. I'm no friend to none. Think you're a hero, then die like one. Oh, woe to thee, people of order. I hope your homes continue to smolder and that you'll never rise again. And the old to those who probably your friend, whose just silence was all I could hear. Your voices once screaming now hummed in my ears. The boy was lonely, but I was alone. I promised that I'd not the touch at my home. And then came a message from my only friend. A warrior hider, though this is the end. They pulled up my wings and they hunt for your head. They promised me justice, but they'll see you dead. They came to me for a battalion and brought an axe to my innocent stallion and said, now it is your turn to bow. Now the king has fallen now. They raised an anvil and laid me below. They got to crush me, painful and slow. But I did live and I did flee. Yet I picked through the butcher's teeth. Oh, to thee, people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder and that you'll never rise again. And oh, to those who call me a friend, we returned from battle all tattered and worn. We stumbled upon a poor child forlorn. He told me his story, he told me his woes. He thought of a plan for mutual foes. We skillfully went to familiar lands, and gathered my weapons and laid out my plans. When the poor child spoke with friends he had known, abandoned our mission and left me alone. I gathered my hounds and made them devour. Realized I once knew friendships now sour, and that the intelligence right from on high gladly bid my final goodbye. Oh, woe to thee, people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder and that you'll never rise again. And oh, to those who call me a friend, and woe to thee, people of order, I hope your homes continue to smolder and that you'll never rise again. Leave me be, for this is the end. And yep, that was it. Remember, basic human rights, pretty good ones. Respect everyone. I know, cliche. Don't be a dick. Yeah. Also, fuck gender roles. Just remember that. Bye.